How you doing? Still a bit hoarse. I apologize. I'm doing this in one of the rooms that I have far better lighting, and it's um, not really all that appropriate where I'm doing it. But this is the best lighting in my house, and but as I put in the title, people to vote for. Um, People to vote for, and some. I got one subscriber, George Conway, I think the gentleman's name is. I'm glad somebody has paid attention to some of my videos, but I'm not doing this for subscription. What I'm trying to do is get a voice out for sanity, and that's what we need: sanity. Dennis Kucinich is a prime candidate for sanity. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, she's a prime candidate for sanity. Um, those of you who may be familiar, and I think I only have one right now, is George Conway, knows that I'm trying to run for governor of Pennsylvania. And I actually did a video called DNC Lies and Crime. And but the thing is that video I did was it was actually to put out my thoughts about the level of criminality of the DNC and the DCCC and the RNC and the GOP and the libertarians, and these are the big capital letter groups who have basically hijacked the democratic process that they so tout. And so, what does that hijack mean? Is basically they've stolen the will and voice of Americans to to play the integral part in our democracy. And to say that we have a democracy is laughable because there is no democracy. Democracy is dead. Um, these people are not legitimate. They do not they do not deserve respect, and they do not deserve the benefit of the doubt. Every action that has been taken for decades and continues to be taken is criminal. I do not concern myself with if you place yourself on the right or if you place yourself in the center or you place yourself on the left. Simple fact of the matter is we as Americans should be concerned about the harm in almost every possible way that these criminals have been wantonly perpetrating upon the American public at large. They seem to have forgotten that they are the employees of the people. And that's a misconception because they haven't forgotten. They know, but they are blatantly and brazenly doing the exact opposite. We all want universal health care. Well, okay, not we all, but the plurality, the majority wants universal health care. The plurality, the majority wants free education from the day you go to school, whether it's pre-K, all the way to the higher education. But touching on that, We cannot have free education if we have private institutions that are controlled and are for profit by private people. So, in order for us to have free education, there must be no private interest involved. Because private interest not only affects the bottom line, so thereby the ability to be of the people to be informed, to be knowledge, to garner knowledge, but it also influences the and badly and badly influences the way the education system works, because they have a tendency to put things that are false or misleading into the system. And they can use this system to meander and rig public knowledge. So we don't want any private interest involved in that system. Just like we don't want private interest through Citizens United to be able to bribe our elected officials. So we want free education. We want responsibility. We want true representation. You cannot represent the American people if you are taking interest, and interest meaning money. So basically being bribed, which is a crime. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have the label of a representative, congressman, senator, president, governor, mayor, selectman, or councilman, or elder. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the word judge or district attorney. That does not make you the de facto rulers, thereby the dictators of how things are going to be for the people. We can't have it, because that means they will continue to poison our lands, poison our minds, poison our emotions, poison our bodies, and generally bring about destructive policies that do not make us progress, which does not give us equality. It does the exact opposite. So we need all these progressives, because the root word of progressive is progress. And we need progress desperately. And the way to start that is not through knowledge, and the acquiring of knowledge, and the value, and putting the greatest value on knowledge. So, as I said, vote for Dennis Kucinich. Vote for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I put in the video DNC Lies and Crime that I want to run for governor of Pennsylvania, but due to this artificial system and labeling me in a certain economic value, basically commoditizing me, making me non-human, a non-person, nothing more than a a number, a thing, makes it virtually impossible for me to get in there to actually serve. So, this video is not really about me running for office. It's not about me getting into office. It's about me getting the word out that we have to put our communal self-preservation as a priority. And the only way to do that is to prioritize our needs, our universal needs, to stop allowing private interests to basically corrupt and poison everything, while at the same time they can criminalize us for everything, to divide us with issues of race. Race is a non-entity because there is no race. We are all humans, and there's nothing. There are no countries, there are no nations, and there are no homes, because the only home that we have, the only nation we have, is the planet. And if we make the planet, due to our inaction, suffer, we then suffer ourselves. So for us to be inactive and to just throw words, that does not work. It's great to go out there and protest, but when there's no result, no real meaningful result, in a time and place where we have an existential crisis, where our future, and when I say our future, I mean our immediate future, has a huge question mark on it, then we're not getting anything meaningful. When we are losing in a catastrophic way the very balance of the ecology of our home, where the level of danger for our own self, for our own self, for our own future, for our own immediate future, is unquestionably going in a tragic way, then we have to question how we keep following the insanity of it all. We gotta stop listening when they use our children, when they use our very lives in a game, in a destructive game, to keep themselves in power. And one of the ways they do that is through money. The other way they do that is religion. And the other way they do that is in this fallacy of race. You have to ask yourself, what is more important? Your future and the future of your children, or all this engineered contentiousness and falsehoods? Because that's what it is. It's all engineered. It's all artificial. In order to serve the community, thereby serve ourselves, we have to stop listening to them. And we have to start listening to ourselves and our communities. And the way to do that is to vote and is to take action and stop asking for permission. I had an interesting conversation with a libertarian. And one thing I got from it is that while his core reasoning has some substance, the plain fact of the matter is he was stuck on the fact that government uses force and thereby equates that with evil and wrong. And he's right. But if that's all you can argue, then how are you going to move forward? That is just simple fear, and courage is the core of knowing that fear is nothing to be afraid of. Because if all you do is fear this one idea and it overwhelms all other logic and realities, then we will be stuck in this fear and we will never progress. We will never save ourselves and we will never be the caretakers that we all should be for the home, the one home that we all have, and that is the planet Earth. Policy matters, but policy must be rational, must be logical, and must be inclusive. And we do not have that. You may throw the word partisan, you may throw the word conservative, you may throw the word liberal, you may throw the word centrist, socialism, communism. We throw all these adjectives at each other, but that doesn't serve our future. Because that's what we want, is our future. We must understand that our future is one and the same. It does not matter what we look like, what skin color we have, whether we think somebody else is ugly or beautiful, because ultimately, if we are cut or we cut ourselves, we bleed red. And when we take a photo of us through medical means, we all have blue in our veins until it's let out. We all don't want someone to unequally call us something hurtful. We all don't want to be forced. We all don't want to be hit arbitrarily by someone, whether it's because they have a bad day or they've been brought up to think in such ways, because ultimately that comes back to hurt us all, because it perpetuates and propagates an idea that is self-injurious to us all collectively. Equality means considering that we all share the same emotions, the same values for ourselves. A community, a true community, considers this and knows this to be the core. And that is what we should all value. So, TYT does a great job of putting progressives, candidates forward. Our revolution, Justice Democrats, and all these others that have been popping up, they all are putting forward people who place the community is good. And not just the domestic community, but the community worldwide, because they understand that our values cannot be limited to what they quote unquote put as domestic. Because domestic, in actuality, is planet wide. Domestic means caring about the land, the water, the animals, the vegetation, the air. And if we cannot have that, then we do not have a future. Please check out DNC Lies and Crime, because I have placed some solutions for us that I endorse. And these are real solutions. I don't simply put it out there because they are simple, they are cost effective, and we do not need money to make it happen. We bring the community together and bring the knowledge within the community from local and extended community. We can have these solutions that I proposed in DNC Lies and Crime. And money has nothing to do with it. The pyramids, the Great Wall, the Sears Tower, the Twin Towers, everything that was ever built was not driven and was not made by money. It was always made by humans. And someone with a ton of money can't build all of that without humans. Granted, many of those were done with the exploitation of others, humans. And that is tragic in itself. Washington, this country, was built by humans. It was not built by money. And it was not built by an individual. It was built by humans. The vile criminal acts by the few, the true minority, that used, abused, murdered, and oppressed humans to accomplish the building of the buildings and infrastructure. It still boils down to that humans are the ones that built everything that we have today. And it will be humans that build everything that we will have in the future. But we cannot have that if we continue. And I'll take this old saying: you can't kill the golden goose and have a future. Gold is not what shapes us. When I say the golden goose, it is the people. We are the gold. It is humans. We are the gold. We are the assets. We are the backbone. We are the foundation. We are the movers. We are the shakers. We are everything. And for us to place value on a few criminal minority, to celebrate these criminal minorities, to respect these criminal minorities, is insanity. We want true representation. A true representation is one that understands that the people are the end all, and be all of all civilization, of all progress, and all progressiveness. I hope I've made an impact with this video, and I honestly cannot right now think of the other candidates. And I know a great many of them, but I've never been a great person for putting names and faces. It's ironic that I'm a humanist, yet I can't seem to grasp and hold these little facts. But then again, I am also human, and I do have my faults. I wish us all well, and I wish us all to progress and be the hope, the future, and brightness that we, as a world communal human people, can achieve. Thank you for watching.